It was a blistering day in the heart of ancient Egypt. The sun's golden rays shimmered over the sandy horizon, casting long shadows against the towering pyramids. Amal, a humble laborer, hoisted a heavy stone into place, sweat streaming down his weathered face. Beside him, his eldest son, Khepri, matched his father's pace, his youthful strength a testament to his dedication. "Here, Baba," Khepri said, handing Amal a chisel with steady hands. Amal glanced at his son, pride flickering in his tired eyes. Khepri, at just 13, carried himself with the wisdom and kindness of a much older soul. As Amal worked, he marveled at his son's diligence. Yet Khepri's thoughts often wandered to the divine, and this troubled Amal. "Baba, the Hebrews speak of their God, one who is unlike ours. They say he has sent a prophet named Moses," Khepri said cautiously. Amal chuckled. "Let them speak. We have the strength of Pharaoh and the gods of Egypt. Tales won't build these pyramids." But beneath his pragmatic demeanor, Amal felt a faint unease. That night, as the village settled under a velvet sky, Amal noticed an unusual commotion near the Nile. Villagers gathered at the banks, their voices trembling with panic. Amal pushed through the crowd, Khepri at his side, and stared at the crimson water. The Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, had turned to blood. "It's a sign," someone shouted. Amal dismissed the chaos. "It's a disturbance, nothing more. The gods are testing us, perhaps." But Khepri's wide eyes told a different story. In the days that followed, frogs invaded every corner of the village. They leapt from pots, filled homes, and croaked endlessly. Amal scowled as he shoveled the squirming creatures from his doorway. "A mere nuisance," he grumbled. But his certainty wavered when Khepri spoke. "Baba, the Hebrews say these are plagues sent by their God. We must listen." Amal ignored him, his irritation masking the first twinges of fear. Soon the nuisance became unbearable. The dust of the land stirred with a strange force, and lice swarmed every inch of flesh. Amal scratched at his arms, his frustration mounting. Then came the flies, relentless and invasive, filling the air with their maddening hum. "Baba, this is no accident," Khepri insisted. "Enough, Khepri," Amal snapped, his voice sharp. "We will endure." But endurance turned to desperation when the livestock began to fall. Amal watched helplessly as animals collapsed in the fields, their lifeless bodies littering the farmland. His neighbors wept over their losses, their faith in Pharaoh shaken. "It's just sickness," Amal muttered, his words hollow. Then Amal and his family were struck with painful boils. He winced as Khepri gently applied cool water to his sores, the boy's touch tender and uncomplaining. "Why do you still resist, Baba?" Khepri whispered. Amal turned away, his silence louder than any argument. The skies darkened, and hailstones the size of fists rained from above, shattering homes and flattening crops. Amal shielded his children as they huddled together, fear etched on their faces. When the storm passed, the locusts came, devouring what little food remained. Amal watched helplessly as his family's survival slipped further from his grasp. Khepri prayed, his voice soft but resolute. Amal scoffed. "Prayers won't fill empty bellies, my son." But Khepri's faith did not waver. When darkness fell across Egypt, Amal lit a small lamp. Its flickering light barely pushed back the suffocating void. The village was eerily silent, the air heavy with foreboding. "They say the final plague is coming," Khepri said. Amal frowned. More Hebrew nonsense. Baba, they mark their doorways with the blood of lambs. They say it will protect their firstborn. Amal shook his head. We need no such marks. I will keep my family safe. That night, as the household lay in restless sleep, a strange wind swept through their home. Amal awoke to a presence in the room, an ethereal figure bathed in radiant light. Its voice was both beautiful and terrible, echoing with divine authority. Amal, it said, you were shown the signs, yet you refused to believe. Amal fell to his knees, trembling. Who are you? What do you want? I am the messenger of the Lord, and I have come for the firstborn. No, Amal cried. Take me instead. Spare my son. The figure remained unmoved. It is not your life that is required. Your disbelief has sealed his fate. Khepri stepped forward, his face calm despite the tears in his eyes. Baba, do not grieve. The gods love you, even if you do not see it. Amal reached for his son, desperation clawing at his heart. I see now. I believe. Please. But the voice replied, its tone unyielding. Faith cannot be born of fear alone. It must grow from trust, not desperation. Khepri smiled, his expression serene. Baba, remember my words. The gods are just, and they love you still. As the angelic figure reached for Khepri, Amal's cries filled the night. His son's body stilled, and the presence vanished, leaving only silence. In the morning, Amal wandered the village, his steps heavy with grief. The red marks above the Hebrew doorways shone bright in the sunlight, their homes untouched by the plague. Amal stared at them, tears streaming down his face as the weight of his choices crushed him. The wind seemed to carry a final whisper. He believed, yet was taken, for you did not. The cost of disbelief is often paid by the innocent. From that day forward, Amal lived with the memory of his son's sacrifice. Though he sought to understand the divine, the shadow of the 10th plague lingered, a reminder that ignoring faith may carry a price far greater than one can bear.